Nearly 100 years ago, the great Russian composer Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky wrote a beautiful fantasy ballet based on a fairy tale by E.T.A. Hoffmann. Tchaikovsky infused the Nutcracker with grace and lovely music to accompany sights to delight audiences of all ages. In 1974, the Cincinnati Ballet Company first staged its version of the Nutcracker. Thousands of people of all ages have thrilled to the creative blending of music, dancers, and all the stage arts. A ballet of this magnitude requires years of planning, dedicated effort by hundreds of committed and creative people, and the stage magic of highly qualified artists. How this is done is a story of its own.
Arms 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's stop just a minute. I'm sorry. Now, we'll stop. When you get over to the side, Renee, you've got to go up on 3. That side of the room is going up. Let's just do arms with counts. Don't go on point, but do it. Come into the center again. Now, the outside circle was up on 1.
David McLain is the executive artistic director. He has the final responsibility for the entire production.
I work very closely with the scenic designer, the costume designer, whoever is doing the lighting, and sort of pull those facets together. And then, of course, with the choreographers, I spend a good deal of time with them, finding out their thinking and their feelings. Then, of course, all of this is coordinated with the maestro so that the musical end of it is taken care of as well.
1, 2, right to the top. Good. Head down. Lift it. Back. Pose. In and up. Circle.
Noted choreographers like Frederick Franklin rehearse the dancers at an early stage.
And leave it right.
The choreographer actually creates the steps and the movements. He coordinates with the composer, or in this case with the maestro who already had the Tchaikovsky score, and create the timing for the general production.
As the dances prepare, costumes are designed to enhance and enrich the stage performance.
And Warner, the designer, felt that the silhouette of the dresses, particularly in the party scene, would be more beautiful and more effective on the stage if they were in the period of the 1890s.
Other professionals now cut and sew every scene.
You think they're both going to fit into it? Sure, those two will.
From the Snow Queen to the Little Mice, each costume must add its charm to the entire production and help move the audience to a special time and place. The children who perform in the Nutcracker, like these rehearsing with David Blackburn, Assistant Artistic Director, are selected through competition. They are auditioned for each part. Only the best are chosen.
Well, the dancers usually begin when they're 8 years old, at least the girls do, and the boys usually start when they're a little bit older, maybe 10 or 11 is ideal. And then if they've had excellent training and thorough professional training, then they can go ahead and dance. I would say that the ballerina will reach her peak at around 35.
And finish. Arms down, stand and hold just like you were on stage. Hold.
Well, the clock.
Another very important element is the setting, especially for a ballet of celebration and fantasy.
has one problem, that the clock has to light up at 12 o'clock and flash on and off when the magic begins.
We could make the
Jay Deppenbrock, the scenic designer, was aware of several old homes in Cincinnati, so he actually took some of the architectural designs in that period, and so it gave a flavor of Cincinnati in that period of time.
So we have that, and this fireplace unit, I think we're going to have to route some moldings and things for this.
The designer usually does a set of roughs. By roughs, these are just rough drawings and ideas, and maybe there are many of them. Then gradually we select down, and we find an idea or two that will really work, and then these are worked up a little more in detail, and then we look at the production and see where this will fit into the total production.
Many others, skilled in stagecraft, begin construction.
All of you listen.
The perfection of performance depends on the precision of preparation. The dancers must rehearse for hours and hours so that each movement is free yet controlled. Individual dancers receive detailed coaching for the important scenes, while the corps de ballet rehearsed elsewhere.
3, 4, the 4 of those. She was asleep. 1, 2, 3, up, down, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. King, sword, fight. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Fall down. 2, up. Throw it. That's right, plenty of time. Good, all right. That's coming.
Man out here, give him a hand putting on the lights.
Now the magicians of the lumens begin their wizardry. Spotlights, floods, and other special lighting pieces are placed in position and wired to the master system. From a central point, all lights can be controlled and colors blended.
We'll start with 22.
The lighting director carefully reviews the intensity of each light with his technicians and controls the lighting cues according to the desired effect. As an artist uses paints, lighting is used to help create dramatic impact.
Take that up the half-point blend, okay? Good.
I think musically,
While the dancers continue an ever more demanding rehearsal, and others are busy with the artistic stage elements, David McLain and Carmen De Leon, music director, discuss the musical score. Since the music is critically important to the movements of the dancers, it must be correct in every detail.
Too great a difference in the tempi there.
What do we need to adjust here as far as the tempos go in some other places? We run into some problems. The poodles were a little uncomfortable, huh?
Well, the poodles tend to be a little slow in the beginning and a little too fast in the middle, especially in the section where the girl has to do the back bend. And we have to keep the balance and tempo between the two sections so she can get placed and in position.
So I should keep it steady.
Carmen De Leon now has the challenge of communicating the various moods and tempos to the 100 members of the orchestra. These expert musicians interpret the sometimes intricate, sometimes stirring, sometimes quietly beautiful music to delight the ear.
Then I think we'll have the timing all right. If she's rushed into it, then it's dangerous and we can run into a mishap. In bringing a production like the Nutcracker to a theater that's as large as Music Hall, it's very important that the faces of the dancers carry not only to the first few rows in the audience, but all the way to the back of the house. And, presumably the back of the house is a block away, or at least a half a block away.
But like dead color. Maybe for your character, you need to bring out your lips, or you need to bring out your chin, not prominent enough.
One last element must be artistically correct before final rehearsals. Grease paint and powder transform the dancers into cavaliers and princesses, soldiers and angels. Opening night is now close at hand. Final costume fittings heighten the excitement of the cast. Weeks of rehearsal are about to climax before an appreciative audience. But now is the time to check everything once again.
Every company that performs a full-length Nutcracker goes through the different acts, and they exit and they go and they change costumes and come back as another character, because there's a land of snow, there's a land of sweets, and you'd have to have an enormous company if the dancer was only to appear once as one character.
And everyone, please, would everybody be quiet? Would everyone please be quiet? Would everyone please bring their party shoes, their angel shoes, all the shoes that you're required to bring? I checked them over today, and a lot of you don't have them. Please.
Really wiggle the hips like crazy. Yeah, do the hips. Yeah, really, one hip, really shake it. Music hall's a big hall, so you've got to move your tail enough that it carries a block back. That's right. That's it. What do you call that? The twist? You're not old enough to remember that. Do the twist there. That's it. Okay. It's a Cincinnati hustle. Okay, let's go.
The dress rehearsal is the first time David McLain sees how everything fits together. It is a time for final appraisals. Is the tempo of the music correct? Are the dancers in the right position one to another? Can the costume changes be made in time? Are the props and sets where they should be, and when? Is the makeup strong enough? Are the lights hitting on cue? Everything must work together to contribute to the beauty and spirit which is the essence of the Nutcracker. Now the quality of the dancers is put to the test. Only the best will continue in this demanding and rewarding career.
The dancers are young, they work extremely hard, they try very hard to make their work look effortless and create the illusion of ease when inside they're dying. They're working just as hard as, the Bengal football team or Johnny Bench or anyone else on the Cincinnati Reds, and perhaps harder, and certainly with a lot more control throughout the entire body at all times. And so because they make it look easy, people tend to think sometimes that their work is superfluous and it's something they enjoy doing, and perhaps something they really shouldn't be paid to do professionally.
And with all this, talented young people continue the quest for perfection in the difficult art of ballet. They seek to use their bodies to communicate with the audience and push themselves to ever higher levels of control.
One. Come on, Mary Kay, lots of energy there. Here they come.
The children really do dance. They have to listen to the music, particularly in the war scene. The children I'm speaking of are 10, 11, 12 years old, and the music in the war scene is extremely complicated.
This is the part right here, boys. This is the part. When they're going around, this is what you've got to make it alive. I'd come down and do more in front, Mike. Don't go up so high. This section. Here we go. One.
Even when the mice are running around and you think it's just a mob scene, they really are very much in control. Unfortunately, they've got those big heads on and they're counting like crazy.
Go, mice. Go get him. Go get him.
It's terribly important that the dancers take care of their bodies. They must eat well, get sufficient rest. They must work constantly and consistently. They work 6 days a week. Some of them who are ambitious work a little bit on Sunday too, or the 7th day, whichever that day off is. When they have a layoff period, they must continue to work, even on their own, whether they're paid to do it or whether there's a director or a teacher available. It's very important that they maintain their instrument. With a poor dancer, they must take whatever body they inherited and they have to make that into their instrument. And then if they've got the gift and the talent for movement, then that body has to be their instrument for expression, so they can never really neglect it.
After the dress rehearsal, the cast receives last-minute corrections from the artistic director. This is the time to improve on those little points, to correct mistakes, to help the dancers see themselves in relation to the entire production. The big job is done. The Nutcracker is ready. Now is the time for fine-tuning only.
I must say it's thrilling to see a dancer assume a new role and go out and go off the stage at the end of the performance, and you know that this is a different dancer. This dancer will never be the same as he or she was 2 hours earlier, and I've seen that happen. And it's one of the things that gives us great joy, and after all the years and the hours of drudgery in the studio, those moments make it all worthwhile.
Cheat it over a little bit.
Okay, after the pantomime, Kelly must finish center stage.
Oh, Kelly Bagby. When you say I was sick.
Well, the dedication is total and totally obsessive if you want to really be more than just a dancer.
Opening night arrives quickly. This is the moment. Excitement backstage is high. Everything works beautifully, and soon the curtain will rise to delight the audience waiting in anticipation. The magical fantasy of the Nutcracker will unfold into the world of childhood dreams. Months of creative effort by hundreds reach a climax on opening night. The entertaining story told through the art of ballet will send the audience home in the spirit of the holiday, with their lives enriched by the beauty of the Nutcracker. Critical acclaim and enthusiastic reception of the audiences have assured that the Nutcracker will be a traditional community celebration for years to come.
The Nutcracker has really become a tradition in this country. It was never successful as a ballet in Russia, where it was first presented and created. And when it was first presented in this country, it met with immediate success. It came in a time period where people are looking for things to do. It's very suitable for a holiday period because the story is a Christmas story. Nutcracker should build new audiences for ballet and show audiences that ballet is just as much fun as Disneyland and just as entertaining, and it can say many different things to many different people on many different levels.